G'day, I'm installing a dash cam in my S650 Mustang today. The dash cam is the recently released Viofo A329. It's a 2-channel setup, a camera for the front and a camera looking out the rear. What I like about this is both cameras use Sony Starvis 2 sensors, currently the best available when it comes to image quality and dynamic range. And what I mean by that is how well a camera copes with the very bright and the very dark parts of the picture. Inferior cameras will clip out the highlights and the dark areas will probably be very noisy. I'm going to be powering this camera setup off the USB port in the rear view mirror assembly. If you saw my video about that, S650 Mustang mirror USB power how long, we discovered the default time that the USB remains powered up after turning the vehicle off was around 1 hour 20 minutes, which suits my intended use just perfect because this is not a daily driver. The power lead that comes with this dash cam is way too long, around 3.4 meters, and it doesn't have a USB-A connector at the other end anyway. I did find this USB-A to USB-C lead on eBay, and it's the perfect length. With right angle connectors at both ends, it keeps the install really neat. I'll put a link in the description. When shopping around, check the right angle USB-A connector wire comes out from the direction you need. For a right-hand drive vehicle with the dash cam on the driver's side, look for the blue bit facing up and cable exiting on the left. Or vice versa, blue bit down, cable exiting right. If the seller doesn't show you a picture of this end, then look elsewhere. USB-C is fully bidirectional, so we don't need to worry about that end. Powering it from up here means I only need to stuff the rear camera cable in amongst the trim and back down there, so it makes the install so much easier. With the unboxing, the SD card was inserted into the camera. I chose a 256 gig sized card, and it's a genuine Viofo card to avoid any dramas with compatibility. You can get cheaper and other brand name cards, but if you have problems using another card, you're just going to get bounced between vendors. The rear camera was connected, the system powered up, and the SD card was formatted. Bench testing was done to make sure everything worked okay, with some test recordings. Now's a good time to download the app, set up the connection, and have a play around with that. The CPL filters, or circular polarizing filters, have been fitted to both cameras. With the front camera, align the white marks and press it on. Of course, wash your hands first, keeps getting grease and oil onto everything. I've already wiped down the windscreen using Stoner's invisible glass and a waffle weave towel. The Viofo kit comes with everything you need, including this really neat little plastic trim tool. It's black, which may be a little bit difficult to see for video purposes, black on black, so I do have this blue trim tool here, which I may end up using. We'll wait and see. I was expecting to stick the camera directly onto the windscreen glass, but I'm going to be using the static sticker that's provided. This clear sticker clings to the glass without adhesive, and the camera is then stuck to the static sticker. 3M VHB tape is pre-fitted to the front camera's GPS module and the rear camera. According to what I've read on forums, this method works just fine. Don't worry, you're supplied with spare static stickers and 3M tape in the kit as well, if you ever need it. With all that out of the way, let's get installing. All right, let's get into this. I think this static sticker is a little bit too big for my liking, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to, as you can see, I'm just going to trim the top quarter off that. I don't need that much latitude. This is just a clear film. Don't worry, they supply you with a second one. Like I said, the window's already been cleaned. So instructions that come with this is to peel the red side off first. Trying very hard not to get my fingerprints on this. Red side off first. Grab it by the tab, could be safe. And position it to roughly where we want the dash cam. And for my case, let's get the mirror set up to where it would normally be. I'm kind of going to want, just put that down for a sec, I'm going to want about like a finger's width of clearance between the dash cam. I'm also going to resist the temptation for shoving that as high up on the windscreen as possible, because what I want to be able to do with this right angle power connector, I want the ability to, with the camera down, I want the ability to be able to lift the USB-C right angle out, just in case I need to disconnect it. And of course, if that's butted hard up against here, you're not going to be able to do that. However, having said that, you should be able to position it around and tweak it using this static sticker method. But I'm just going to be safe, and we'll put it there. So I figure if that goes all the way up to the perimeter of the windscreen, we should be right. Paranoid about getting fingerprints on it, so if you're left-handed, this will probably be easier. Let's do that. What did I say about there? Let's grab a waffle weave towel. Double check my positioning. Camera lens, of course, is at the bottom. You don't want the camera lens to point through the film. Yeah, that's pretty good there. That I'm pretty happy with that. Step number 2 is to pull the green tab away. You can still see a few air bubbles in there. Anyway. Pull the 3M backing away. As you can see, I've still got the power lead connected. I'm just going to loosely put that on. Oh, no, we won't. We'll just press hard. And I think the horizon looks all right there. I cheated. I've got the camera looking up, I can see it. Okay, it's neutral. Turn the vehicle on. I'm just checking the horizon. That's pretty good. All right, that all works. Turn the vehicle off. Good night. Next stage is to run the cable up under here till we get to the A-pillar. One thing I should point out is that if you're installing this into a left-hand drive vehicle, you want to make sure that you allow yourself a little bit of extra room, because the camera unit itself slides out to the right when it's detaching from the GPS unit. So just obviously allow yourself just a little bit more room before you pull it out if you're mounting it on the left-hand side of your rear view mirror. The camera cable that comes with the A329 is 6 meters long. That's stupidly long for a Mustang. I mean, great if you've got a 300 series Land Cruiser or something, but my current plan is to, I'm guessing we're going to only need like 3 meters or so to get to the rear window. So the rest of it will be bundled up and tucked up just under the rear window. If rattling ever proves to be a problem, I'll pull the cable out, cut it 10 centimeters back from there and just pull the length out and resolder it. But this small coax cable is a pain to deal with. We want the right angle connector at the front, so it makes a nice clean exit out. like that. So I'm just going to run this cable out the door. Glasses on so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Oh, tuck it up. Okay, trim tool time. Here's the black one. Just under that plastic piece there. Time to look stupid with the head mount, but hey, it gets the job done. I should also point out that one thing that's going to make it easier, I don't know unless you're outside or something, but being in a car with tinted windows and everything's black, is a task light. This is a Steady T1500. I really like this thing. It has 3 levels of brightness. It's got a magnetic base and you can adjust the angle of the base. It just comes in handy. Either a torch or a task light. I think I'm going to swap out to the blue tool. You can see what's going on here. So we just insert it behind the plastic. This is pretty easy. In fact, you don't even need the tool here. You just press the headliner in. Getting to the door rubber. If you feel behind the door rubber, it's a flat surface all along there. I'm not going to push it up into there because I don't want it to affect the integrity of the door. Oh, hang on, what I'm going to do, it's basically a cavity in there, so what I'm going to do is shove, I don't know what, it's about 6-7 centimetres of cable just in there, just as a buffer for whatever reason, if I ever want to pull this out of here. And just push that headliner in. And just a matter of feeding it up under the rubber. Probably even use your fingers for this. As the camera cable comes, it's pretty wound up. I'd wind it all the way out. Okay, we're back there. That is quite invisible. And I know I've got a little buffer zone of cable sitting in there. All right, let's jump into the back seat. Not exactly the best place to be in a Mustang, and we'll continue it on from there. Before I continue running the camera cable back down here, I want to prep the glass just by cleaning it. Once again, a bit of invisible glass into a waffle weave towel. I'm not going to be using the static sticker at the rear here because of the demister wires running through the glass. And I mean, you could cut the static sheet right down, I guess, but why bother? We can easily place the camera midway between those two demister wires running there. Another thing you want to do is the orientation of the camera itself. I mean, it doesn't matter which way you stick it, left, right, up, down, because you can flip the video both vertically and horizontally in the configuration settings. But one consideration is the cable entry point. Being a right-hand drive and the fact that I'm running the cable on the right-hand side of the vehicle, I want the connector to come out on the right-hand side. So it's just a consideration. If you're fitting this into a left-hand drive vehicle, you would fit it that way. And of course, you can turn your camera head around, no worries. One thing that's proving tricky is this corner here, the hard plastic. I'm scared to pull that too far, and the headliner doesn't want to go up. So I'm approaching this from the outside of the car, which I think is a lot easier. And you can also see the little channel up in here where the cable can run, which is nice and neat, doesn't affect the door seal at all. Now, this corner bit, I'm sure it won't be a problem. You know, once you get around the corner, it's no problem. The headliner just goes back. It's just that little corner bit that concerns me. Get this rubber out of the way so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Put a bit of a loop in the cable. Get it up there to begin with. So there's no problem there. It's just this little corner bit. And I just really don't want to pinch the cable too hard. So we need, oh, there we go. Yeah, no problem. All right. So just using the trim tool and move that forward just a little bit. And there we go. So I'm going to slacken that off a bit. All right. All right, time to get back inside. This bit's really easy. Kind of helps if you're not sitting on the cable. Here, oops. If you can get it around the corner of that headliner there, you could pull it straight across, I guess. The only difficult bit is that corner. Okay, wrapping it up. I'll leave that about that amount. Cable ties don't need to be very big. And I'll put a second one on. The hell of it. Okay, time to stick the rear camera down. I've already cleaned the glass and going to make sure the connector is going out to the right hand side in my case, because that's where the cable runs. And I'm going to position it, use the seat as the center. You want the camera centered, center of the lens about there. And press hard. Now the cable. This headliner, yeah, it comes away pretty easy. And I'll just plug the camera in. Just going to put a bit of a bend in the cable. Click. That's it. Hopefully no rattles. Now that we've hooked up the rear camera back in the driver's seat, we'll turn the ignition on. Camera should power up.
Recording. 2 channels started.
2 channels started. All right, so it's seeing the rear camera, which is good. At this stage, we can check the framing of our cameras. I'm happy with the front camera. Switch to the rear camera, so that can tilt up a little bit, seeing a little bit too much of the parcel shelf there. I'll do that a bit later. Okay, Wi-Fi enabled. Let's connect to our phone. Here we go. It gives you a better view of what the cameras are seeing, so I can definitely tilt up on the rear camera. Front camera. Still learning how to use the app. So I'll play with these settings over the next couple of days, and especially the ones relating to the parking modes and all that sort of stuff. Everything you can do on the menu on the camera itself, you can do in the app, so that's really handy. As you can see, if you're powering it off the USB port in the mirror here, it's really easy to run that cable round to the back. The only tricky bit is where it comes back in around that pillar back there, but once you get around that, it's an absolute piece of cake. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and you'll see. Thank you. You'll see me on the next one. Cheers.
Now can I say it?
Yep.
Go away!
Scram!
Get out of here!
Get out of here! Skedaddle! Go away!
Ham's Gray!
Well, come on.
All right.